Halo Infinite had the most hellish development in Halo history. It has had history of development hell. It even happened in Halo 2 to the point where developers were literally sleeping in offices. But what 343 had to do with development hell was totally on another level. Not only did they have leadership issues, but they also had to do contractors that came left. But also there was infighting with the developers itself, being in different groups, having to fight for resources. But not only that, they had the most troubled 4 developments of all time. And those 4 critical years was the worst for the road ahead. They released a trailer revealing Halo Infinite to the world. And it was the most exciting, most nostalgia driven Halo trailer in history. They revealed the Master Chief with his classic helmet and classic armor. Unfortunately, they did not have any gameplay to show at the time because the game was in development hell. Then the year came and COVID hit. 343 had a hell of a time trying to develop Halo Infinite while a worldwide pandemic happened at the same time. And because of this COVID pandemic, they had to all develop Halo from home, and they had to communicate to each other while they were at their development kits straight from home. So with the mix of isolation of the COVID pandemic, staying home and having to develop from home, and having to communicate at the same time, this equaled the most hellish development you've ever seen in Halo history. Then they released the trailer, and we got the iconic meme Craig. But Halo Infinite was in a technical and unfinished state. So, what they ultimately had to do was delay the game. Originally, it was going to come out as the same time as the Xbox Series X. But they had to delay it, unfortunately, because it was just not ready, functionally or content-wise. And the unfortunate truth is, because they had to do a delay and polish it up, they had to cut 2/3 of the campaign. And there was so much wildlife that was going to be in the campaign alone, like the rhinos, and apparently there was going to be some leopards that the Banished were going to have to fight off and stuff, like so much wildlife. And the Banished were even more in-depth than what they were supposed to. They were already really good in of itself, but it was going to be even more in-depth. And not to mention the different biomes that it was going to have and stuff like that. I mean, it was going to be a dream Halo game. They did show off gameplay with this trailer, and they did even a whole demo. But unfortunately, with the mix of leadership, contractors, the COVID pandemic, having to work from home, all of this hit 343 Industry in the worst way possible. and made the most hellish development in history. They only had 1 year to polish this game. And heck, even Marines weren't even following the Master Chief. They were only staying at their bases. So what they did was smart. They hired Joe Staten. He was the godfather of Halo. And it was because of him that saved the project. Not only did he value the importance of the Marines by your side, but also he also valued different weapons that you could have on hand in the campaign in the cutscene, which hasn't been a staple since Halo 2. He truly understood the value of Halo. And because of him, he saved the Halo franchise. I commend Joe Staten for doing this most impossible job. Anyways, a few trailers here and there. They cut the content. 2/3 of the campaign was cut. They polished the game, and 2/3 of the campaign was cut. But it was still just as ambitious and grand of scope. The reason why we only have one biome is because they did not have the time to create multiple biomes. They literally only had 1 year to put all this together. And it was just a miracle that this project even survived. Heck, it could have been even a worse state than that if it wasn't for Joe Staten. And with COVID causing so much chaos in the world, and just so many people dying and getting COVID, I can only imagine that 343 had a hell of a time just going through the pandemic alone. Joe Staten had the most impossible task, but he did it. Anyways, the game released, and the campaign was in a polished state. And that's what counts. Obviously, there needed me to be more developed for the multiplayer, but after a year or two, the content and features were complete in the campaign, like level select, different weapons, and the different weapon models that you can bring any gun to, checkpoints for each mission and side mission, and they even made improvements across the board for campaign and multiplayer. And unfortunately, the split screen had to be cut because of lack of time and just the hellish development in general. If it wasn't for Joe Staten, this project would have been doomed from the start. It was doomed from the start. But Joe Staten did the most impossible task and made it the best Halo game imaginable. It is unfortunate that we got so much cut content, but man, the campaign that we got was so damn good. And yes, I know that there's the biomes that was unfortunately cut, but they have put that feedback in the next Halo game. I want Halo Infinite 2 to continue where Halo Infinite left off. And I just want it to remain the classic feel and to keep my vision intact. This was my vision of a Halo game. And if it wasn't for me giving endless feedback after Halo 5, Halo wouldn't be in the state that it is today. I gave endless feedback after Halo 5. I know it was a tough journey, but I'm hoping that Halo 7 or Halo Infinite 2, whatever they want to call this next Halo game, I want them to continue my vision. I want them to continue where they last left off. And I want to hope. Let's just hope that the next Halo game has a smoother transition and doesn't have a hellish development like Halo Infinite.